So here's the thing about galactic empires. They get really, really comfortable after conquering about 300 planets. The Valdrath Empire was no exception. When their long-range scanners picked up Earth, tucked away in some forgettable arm of the Milky Way, they practically threw a party. Supreme Commander Thraxus stood before the Galactic Council, his 4 eyes gleaming with what could only be described as predatory glee. "Esteemed members," he announced, his voice dripping with the kind of confidence that comes right before a spectacular faceplant, "we have discovered another world ripe for integration into our glorious empire." The holographic display flickered to life, showing a blue-green marble spinning peacefully in space. Earth. Pretty little thing, really. Shame about what was going to happen next. "Our scans indicate a primitive species," Thraxus continued, gesturing at images of humans going about their daily business. "They still use combustion engines. Can you believe it? Combustion. They barely have a unified planetary government. Their most advanced weapons are laughably outdated by our standards." The council members chittered and buzzed their approval. Oh, how they loved an easy conquest. "I estimate complete planetary subjugation within 1 solar rotation," Thraxus declared, puffing out his thorax. "Perhaps less if they're particularly stupid." Spoiler alert, they weren't stupid. Just creative. Very, very creative. The kind of creative that makes reasonable alien species nervous, but Thraxus didn't know that yet. Poor Thraxus, the Valdrath Armada dropped out of hyperspace above Earth with all the subtlety of a rock band at a library. 50 warships, gleaming and imposing, arranged in a formation that screamed, "We practiced this and we're very proud of it." Thraxus keyed the universal translator and broadcast his message to every communications device on the planet. "Primitive humans, your world now belongs to the Valdrath Empire. Surrender immediately and your transition to servitude will be relatively painless. You have 1 Earth hour to comply." He sat back, waiting for the inevitable groveling. Instead, he got Commander Marcus Chen. "Yeah, hi, this is NORAD. We're getting some weird prank call about an alien invasion. Listen buddy, I don't know what kind of YouTube stunt you're pulling, but you're jamming some seriously important frequencies here." Marcus took a sip of his coffee, squinting at his screen. "Wait. Are those actual spaceships?" Thraxus blinked all 4 eyes. "This is not a prank, human. This is Conquest. You will submit or be destroyed." There was a long pause. Marcus put down his coffee. Then he started laughing. Not nervous laughter. The kind of laughter that should have been a warning sign. "Oh man, you guys picked the wrong Tuesday." Marcus switched to the Global Defense Network. "Alright people, we've got hostile contacts in orbit. Someone wake up the president. Someone else find me everything that shoots, flies, or explodes. And somebody please tell me we still have those experimental rail guns from the Nevada site." "Sir, those aren't rated for space combat," his lieutenant protested. Marcus grinned. "They are now. Also, do we still have that NASA intern who's really into astrophysics and anime? Yuki Tanaka?" "Yes sir, but why? Get her on the line. We're about to get creative. The thing about humans is that they have this unfortunate habit of treating rules more like suggestions. Warfare protocols? Guidelines at best." The Valdrath were about to learn this the hard way. Captain Riley Okonkwo was piloting an F-22 Raptor when the call came through. "Captain, we need you to engage the alien vessels." "Ma'am, with all due respect, my jet wasn't exactly designed for space combat." "I'm aware, Captain. That's why we're strapping rocket boosters to it." Riley paused. "I'm sorry, did you say rocket boosters? And external oxygen tanks?" "Dr. Tanaka says if we modify the engine intake and add some heat shielding, you should be able to reach low orbit for approximately 8 minutes before physics gets annoyed with us." Riley looked at her jet, then at the sky, then back at her jet. "You know what? I've had weirder Tuesdays. Strap 'em on. Meanwhile, Thraxus was discovering that human military doctrine apparently consisted of throw everything at the problem and see what sticks. His shields were being pelted with everything from conventional missiles to what appeared to be modified weather satellites that someone had hastily weaponized. "Sir, the humans are firing metal projectiles at us," his tactical officer reported, confusion evident in his voice. "No energy signatures, no guidance systems. Just metal rods accelerated to extreme velocities. Primitive kinetic weapons? Our shields will easily." Thraxus was cut off as one of the rods punched straight through his flagship's secondary deflector array. Apparently, nobody had told the humans that kinetic weapons were obsolete. Or maybe they just didn't care. "New contact, sir. Single human aircraft approaching at impossible altitude." Thraxus watched in disbelief as Riley's jury-rigged fighter screamed past his viewscreen, did a barrel roll that had no tactical purpose whatsoever except to be incredibly disrespectful, and fired a modified anti-ship missile directly into his communications array. "Did that human just taunt us?" Thraxus sputtered. "I believe so, sir." Our translators picked up the phrase yippee-ki-yay followed by several terms our database classifies as highly inappropriate. Down in Nevada, Marcus was coordinating what could generously be called a strategy. "Okay, the railgun test worked better than expected. How many more can we get operational?" "Sir, we only have one railgun." Marcus smiled. "We have 17 particle accelerators at various research facilities around the world. Someone get me CERN on the line. I want to know if we can shoot things with the Large Hadron Collider." "Sir, that's not how the Hadron Collider works." "It is today." By hour 3 of the 1-hour Conquest, Thraxus was having what humans would call a very bad day. "Sir, the humans have somehow hacked into our communication network," his technical officer reported, mandibles clicking nervously. "That's impossible. Our encryption is military grade, certified by the Galactic Security Commission for, they're sending us images, sir." Thraxus looked at the screen. It was a picture of a cat wearing sunglasses with text that read, "You came to the wrong neighborhood, buddy." He didn't understand it, but he felt insulted anyway. Dr. Yuki Tanaka was having the time of her life. Surrounded by the wreckage of a Valdrath scout ship that had made the mistake of entering Earth's atmosphere, she was elbow-deep in alien technology with the giddy enthusiasm of a kid on Christmas morning. "Oh, this is beautiful," she breathed, examining a power coupling. "Marcus, you seeing this? Their energy systems are at least 3 centuries ahead of ours. Can you make it work?" Marcus asked over the comm, "Can I make it work?" "Marcus, I can make it better. Give me 6 hours and a lot of coffee, and I'll have their shield technology integrated into our defense grid." She paused. "Actually, make that 4 hours. I'm feeling inspired. You have 3. We've got more ships incoming." Yuki grinned. Challenge accepted. What happened over the next few hours would later be referred to as the Great Humiliation. Human scientists, working on caffeine and spite, began reverse engineering Valdrath technology at a pace that violated several laws of physics and possibly some laws of common sense, but the real breaking point came when Commander Chen decided to negotiate. "Supreme Commander Thraxus, this is Commander Marcus Chen. We'd like to discuss terms." Thraxus felt a surge of relief. Finally, the humans were seeing reason. "You wish to surrender?" "Not exactly. We want to offer you some coffee." "Coffee?" 20 minutes later, a small shuttle docked with the Valdrath flagship. A single human stepped out, carrying a thermal container. Thraxus met him in the docking bay, flanked by guards. The human smiled and poured a cup of dark liquid. "Peace offering. Try it." Thraxus, suspicious but curious, took a sip, his eyes widened. "All 4 of them. What is this substance?" "Coffee. We have entire planetary industries dedicated to it. This is extraordinary." The flavor complexity, the stimulant properties, the Thraxis paused. Wait, is this a bribe? Think of it as a preview. Surrender now, and we'll set up a cafe on your homeworld. Keep fighting, and you'll never taste coffee again. Your choice. 3 of Thraxis's officers had already crowded around, demanding samples. Meanwhile, Yuki's voice crackled over Marcus's earpiece. Shields are up. Also, I may have accidentally figured out their faster-than-light drive. We're now officially a spacefaring civilization. You're welcome. Emperor Zarthos of the Valdrath Empire received the emergency transmission from Thraxis with about as much enthusiasm as one might receive a tax audit notification. Let me understand this correctly, Zarthos said, his voice dangerously calm. You have failed to conquer a species that still uses fossil fuels. A species that, according to your initial report, would fall within one solar rotation. Your Magnificence, they are not following standard warfare protocols. They weaponized a research facility designed to study subatomic particles. They strapped rockets to atmospheric aircraft. They bribed my crew with a psychoactive beverage. It's called coffee, and we're not addicted, one of Thraxis's officers shouted in the background. We can stop anytime we want. Before Zarthos could respond, every screen in his throne room flickered. Commander Marcus Chen's face appeared, looking remarkably relaxed for someone whose planet was supposedly being invaded. Emperor Zarthos, I presume? Commander Marcus Chen, representing Earth. We'd like to discuss your surrender. The throne room fell silent. You could have heard a pin drop, if pins made sounds in the vacuum of space, which they don't, but you get the idea. Our surrender? Zarthos's voice could have frozen hydrogen. Marcus smiled. You have 1 Earth hour to withdraw your forces from our solar system. Do so peacefully, and we'll send you home with some coffee samples and no hard feelings. Refuse, and we'll be forced to demonstrate our newly acquired faster-than-light capable missiles. Dr. Tanaka has been very productive. The Galactic Council, monitoring the situation, erupted into chaos. Species that had been conquered by the Valdrath were suddenly very interested in this humanity that had turned the tables in less than a day. This is outrageous, Zarthos sputtered. The Valdrath Empire does not negotiate with primitives. Cool, Marcus said. Then you can explain to your people why you started a war over a planet you can't conquer. We'll be here, drinking coffee and upgrading our weapon systems with your technology. Your move, Emperor. Zarthos looked at his military advisors. They looked at their tactical displays. The displays showed human installations now sporting Valdrath shield technology and what appeared to be a weaponized particle accelerator pointed directly at the fleet. Withdraw, Zarthos said quietly. Withdraw now. 3 months later, the Galactic Council issued an official decree regarding Earth. The designation read, Class 12 Developmental World, do not engage under any circumstances. In the footnotes, someone had added, seriously. We mean it this time. They're weird. The Valdrath Empire, licking its wounds and nursing a collective caffeine addiction, had become the galaxy's most embarrassing cautionary tale. Other civilizations updated their star charts, carefully marking Earth's solar system with warnings that ranged from approach with extreme caution to just don't. Commander Marcus Chen stood in the newly established Earth Defense Headquarters, watching as the first human-designed FTL ship prepared for its maiden voyage. Dr. Yuki Tanaka had outdone herself again. So, Captain Riley Okonkwo said, joining him at the window, we went from primitive primates to galactic power in about 72 hours. That's got to be some kind of record. Marcus chuckled. We're still primitive primates. We just weaponized our primate behavior. On the other side of the galaxy, the first Starbucks opened on the Valdrath homeworld. The line wrapped around 3 city blocks. Humanity had done what no empire could, conquered through commerce and caffeine. The Galactic Council sent a formal invitation for Earth to join as a member civilization. Marcus read it, smiled, and sent back a single-word response, eventually. Because here's the thing about humanity. They don't like being told what to do. Not by emperors, not by councils, and definitely not by aliens who thought conquest would be easy. They prefer to do things their own way. Preferably with coffee, and maybe a few weaponized particle accelerators, just in case.